How's it going, everyone? Hope everyone's having an awesome day. Let's check out these clips.
Listen, they lied to you. America is older than Africa, and I'll prove it to you. So before you argue, right? Africa is a Roman name, Scipio Africanus. You see, that name didn't exist in Bible times. It didn't exist in Moses times, and it didn't exist during Jesus' time. See, the Bible never described Eden in Africa. It described red clay, gold, onyx, and a river that split into four. See, that's not Africa. That's southeastern United States of America. So you gotta ask yourself, if Eden was here, then this land is older than every story they ever told you. This is why if you go to Alabama, they have red soil. Florida has red soil. Georgia has red soil. The gopher wood is the only wood that was used to build Noah's Ark. And where do you find that? In Florida. And that's why the gold belt is also in America. You see, for so long, the enemy has been trying to hide America's age. America is older than Africa. It's older than any land that's ever existed. That's why this land in America is ancient. If you were born in America, you weren't born in a country. You were born in a portal. A land that's way older than your history books. If most people knew America is the first world, then most people would wake up.
Yeah, I think all the continents used to be together, like during biblical times. I think that's I think that makes most sense to me. And what do they say? Gopher wood only grows in Florida, I believe. That's what Noah made the ark with, right? Um, so I don't know, something to think about.
We see some strange lights in the sky. What's creepy about these lights is what they do. Watch this.
What on earth is that? Someone else shooting out in front of it now. There's two of them. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my God, guys, you are looking. I don't know what you're looking at, but they're UFOs. If ever there's an unidentified flying object, that's that.
Can we go that way? Can we go that way?
There's two of them flying next to each other. Oh my God, you guys, I don't think you realise how lucky you are to even witness something like this. Look at them.
Oh my God.
What is that?
Can I quickly go that way a bit?
Yeah, go where you want, mate.
I'm running over. But I'm on the golf course. Can I try and run over like really close?
That, I've never seen anything like it.
Dad?
Yeah.
Is that a road there?
Yeah, I don't know, a lot of craziness in the sky, right?
Hey, NASA was supposed to shoot rockets at it.
Yes, that's not. It's that be running as well. That's not. No, yeah, that be running
Oh, wow. Whoa, look at that. What's that all about? What is that? Yeah, what is that? What the hell is that? What is that, man? That's not... Yo, man, what was that all about? What happened? Where did it...
I just think that's so wild. I'd like to have like 100% proof that we got a fake sun. It definitely seems like it. I know the sun isn't what it used to be. Um, I miss I miss the old times. The way it felt outside. I was talking about this in the comments the other day. Somebody had mentioned it, and yeah, how the how it felt outside, how the sun used to look. I don't know, just miss it.
Thought I'd show you this. This is the sun on the floor in my room. This is the sun hitting the floor, okay? And it's hitting my face. Like, look how bright the light is. The sun is coming through the window, hitting the floor and hitting my face. Look how bright it is. It looks like someone's shining a flashlight on my face. If you've been following my videos, you know I've been talking about the sun and possibilities regarding the anomalous sun and moon. People are seeing two suns and two moons in the sky, and some people are seeing what looks like other planetary bodies. Now, we've gone over some theories about this, but what I haven't discussed is the fact that when people are seeing two moons and two suns, or what looks like what people are calling Nibiru behind the sun, I have maintained that what we're seeing is a reflection of the sun and the moon on the dome or firmament, which is an impenetrable barrier, which NASA has actually even confirmed. There is an impenetrable barrier above the Earth. They would say around it, but I'm saying above it. And that our magnetic field has collapsed completely. You can look this up and verify it to see if that's actually what scientists are saying. Our magnetic field is collapsing, right? And so this is part of the magnetic pole shift that I keep talking about. This is what would happen. Also, you would have a supercharged plasma field emanating from the center of the Earth. Reminds me of Nostradamus, earth shaking fire from the center of the Earth. The sky will burn at 45 degrees. He also said that. People laugh about Nostradamus, but you know, these things pop into my head when I start seeing some of these anomalous events taking place in the sky. He also talks about Samboran, or people being 1,000 leagues above the Earth watching as the sun cooks the water and boils the fish in the sea, right? It's absolutely possible that they're killing two birds with one stone. They're trying to shield us from the sun's radiation as the magnetic field collapses. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want people to know about it, because then they have to confirm the actual primer field model of the world, which is the flat earth model. But also they can use that technology to direct energy into specific areas, hypothetically. Now, this is where I want you to pay attention. I've been talking about raising chrism and what Christ consciousness actually means. We're talking about raising your vibration to a harmonic resonance state where you're in a state of bliss. You don't go into fight or flight. You're not duality mind consciousness. You've moved into ascension consciousness. This has a very real effect on your body and your mind, your consciousness field. So if you're in your heart center, your heart has the biggest electromagnetic field of the body, not your brain. So your magnetic field is what protects you from the sun or any other electromagnetic field that could be potentially damaging. It's all about frequency.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say, first of all, I appreciate all comments. I forgot to say that a minute ago. And this Christ consciousness, and I mean, I'm not trying to dunk on anybody or anything like that. You know, believe what you want. I just, I mean, I don't believe that. Actually, you know, I've been thinking about this lately. Like, you know how in the Bible it says that the Antichrist will stand in the temple of God or sit in the temple of God and claim himself to be God, right? Um, which, you know, like I always say, I think we're in the little season anyway, right? But like I thought of another way to look at that. Um, they say man, you know, until they're saved is 2/3 man, right? Because they've fallen, right? So that's, you know, 66.6% man, right? 2/3. Um, and when these people, when they, you know, and of course we're the temple of God, so when somebody says that, you know, they're gods, like the Gnostics and these people say that, you know, they're gods, would that be uh an antichrist, like an antichrist spirit, you know, sitting in the temple claiming himself to be God? But then if I guess if they're not saved, then it's not really the temple of God, or I don't know. Just something to think about. I've been thinking about it lately. And like I said, I'm not trying to dunk on anybody. Um, you know, I got you.
I think they put a new sun up there and they're filtering the sun because it's like you get cooked. Remember when they had the eclipse and there was two suns? Yeah, I mean, you're not fucking kidding when you're talking about getting cooked, because I go out there now and I feel like I'm in a fucking microwave just being completely fried to death. But you're definitely right, because it seems like ever since the eclipse, maybe the sun simulators, been introduced way before this. I don't know, but it just seems like ever since the eclipse that we had, things have just been really ramped up to the point like you can't deny it. It's almost like it's common sense. It's almost noticeable at this point. And it makes sense too, because if you have an understanding of what solar eclipses are and what they represent, it's basically a DNA portal in a sense. It is a timeline rewrite, essentially. So basically what solar eclipses are is it's a reboot of the sun's energy grid, often exposing artificial overlays. So they are times when truth hidden behind the veil is actually revealed. So not only globally, but within your own soul as well. And not to mention, there's actually real patents for the sun simulator theory. And not to mention, there's actually patents in place that talk about the sun simulation theory. Here's a patent from, let's see, 1966 from NASA. Kind of weird, right? I mean, why the fuck is NASA patenting something that creates a fake sun in the 60s? It just doesn't make sense, right? But, you see where we are today in 2025. So if this was in 1960s, can you imagine the technology that they have today? So yeah, this patent here, it's creating a fake sun using multiple lights, mirrors, and reflectors to produce one central virtual light source, just like the sun we see in the sky. It even says that it can simulate not just sunlight, but earth light and moonlight. It's scrambling light from multiple sources into a single believable source, and you wouldn't even know it's fake.
Yeah, it's crazy. 1966. Yeah, and they say they got technology like decades ahead of what they let us have, right? I don't know. What's that company's name? The one with the fake, where you can buy, like, they'll light up a section of the earth if you pay them, like, what, however much. I don't know if you guys have seen that. I actually missed what she said at the beginning. I don't know if she was talking about that or not, but yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
They speak no language but bark like dogs, and in this manner make themselves understood by each other. Their teeth are larger than those of dogs, their nails like those of these animals, but longer and rounder. They inhabit the mountains as far as the river Indus. So this is in India. They are reported to live primarily in India and northern Africa, but were seen in many places in between. So he's saying, not only have I seen them, but anybody I've talked to that's seen them has seen them all over the place. So they weren't in just one specific area. He said their complexion is swarthy. They are extremely just, like the rest of the Indians with whom they associate. So it's said that these cynocephalists actually bartered and traded with the people from India that were close by the mountains. So they would go into town, or the Indians would come there and they would barter and trade. And he said they were extremely just. They were good natured. And he said that he basically went and stayed with them for a while. And he said they lived on raw meat, and they numbered about 120,000 in the mountains. That is crazy to think about, that many were living in the mountains at the time. Now, you may wonder, like, well, why aren't we seeing them now? Well, as time went, and as the religious factions of the church became more militant, and we're not talking about just one specific type of church or religion, but all these different religions and churches became more militant, you will see throughout history where they would wipe out what they thought was demonic in any area they were at. And we've heard about the trolls in Iceland being wiped out. We've heard about all of these other creatures that have been wiped out by the church. And you will see in text and even in stained glass depictions where they were considered demonic and were driven out or killed in large numbers. So that could be why we don't know about these 120,000 dogmen or cynocephalists that live close to India and in northern Africa. At least that's what I think could have happened throughout history. And sadly, here we go with Teasy is talking about how good natured they were, but here is man again wiping out what they don't understand. And this also plays back into this good Nephilim theory of mine.
Wasn't that like a Siamese twin? Hold on. Wouldn't that be a Siamese twin? I mean, we see them, every once in a while, right? Yeah, I wonder if like the Catholic Church and after the millennial reign, right? They say the Catholic Church took over, all the nice churches and everything, right? I wonder if they did wipe these things out. I'd say these are probably some type of Nephilim. I don't know, but I actually wonder, like some of the dog ones survived. They say these people have seen like these dog head ones, right? And like I wonder if they've just like been living in the woods and they're just like wild now, like what if like a human was raised in the woods, didn't know English or whatever, any language. At least they show that in movies. You'd be like wild, right? So I don't know.
Are ripping us off and deceiving the population by telling us they use 60,000 gallons of fuel, but it's not the truth, and I'm going to prove it. Now, first of all, according to the Airbus A380 specifications, each wing here can hold 38,000 gallons. Let's put that into perspective, because this is 10,000 gallons right here. So they're saying each wing can hold 3 8/10 of one of these tankers in each wing. Where? Clearly, this is a lie, and I'm going to show you why they're lying. It is because jet turbines don't actually use fuel to fly. Sounds crazy, but I'm going to prove it, so stick with me. This is the ceiling of an ancient Indian temple. These temples used etheric energy to power the temples. They were power plants. Very eerily similar design to jet turbines. What's also interesting is there's only 3 companies in the world that are actually able and licensed to make jet turbines, which includes Rolls-Royce, Pratt & Whitney, and GE Aviation. Guess who's the biggest shareholders in these companies? BlackRock and Vanguard. It would be pretty easy to guard and hide how these turbines actually work, what their blueprints are, and how they stole it from our ancient ancestors. Literally free energy hidden in plain sight, and I'm going to show you right now how it works. First of all, what you need to know is the higher up you go, the more atmospheric energy you can measure, and in turn, the more atmospheric energy that you can harness. Watch this video.
I have a set of balloons. I'm running out of daylight here, but I have carbon rod hooked up to those balloons and wire connected down to my multimeter. And it is grounded into my ground rod. I'm running out of daylight, but right now I'm about 30 feet in the air. I have the wire marked every 10 feet. I'm currently at 24, 27 volts. And I'll show you what happens when I start pulling it down. So right now, I have about 50 feet of wire that I can uncoil, but I'm not going to tonight. I'll do it when I have more daylight. But here's what happens when I start pulling it down. Now here it goes down. About 15 feet.
This atmospheric energy is what we like to call the ether. It was on the periodic table before the world elites came along, because they don't want you to know about the ether. This is the technology that Nikola Tesla was tapping into. This is the technology that will give us free energy forever. It's the etheric energy. This is why you'll see on all the old world buildings, copper and gold plated roofs plus antennas. They were harnessing this energy and creating free electricity. This is exactly how they powered the old world, and this is exactly what they don't want you to know. Going back to jet turbines, all they use fuel for is to power the initial combustion. And when they reach a certain altitude, they switch from combustion to etheric energy. This is why they don't make any noise and they just hum. This is also why they only spray water vapor. If you want to know the real secrets to this reality, comment the word elevate, and I will send you over my free training to help you escape the matrix and crack all the codes. The real truth is found within. Peace and love, guys.
I don't know, that stuff, definitely stuff I didn't know about the planes, how many gallons they say they hold. Sure doesn't look like it. Well, they say there's mercury in the balls on top of the buildings, or there was, to help with the energy. I'd like to try one of those experiments they do to see, how well they work.
Most people think that the firmament is a myth or a physical dome. In reality, it's a lethal energetic barrier. Our planet is wrapped in Van Allen radiation belts, a high voltage fence of intense radiation that fries human DNA. For 60 years, we have been trapped because aluminum rockets and chemical fuel simply weren't enough to survive that microwave. We didn't lose the technology to go to the moon. The truth is, we've never had the technology to leave this cage, but we have possibly just solved it. The 9 scientists that are currently unalived or missing, they're the crew that just built the first real door. And it started with Monica Jacinto Reza. She perfected the Mondaloy. This isn't just a metal, it's a molecular skin for the ship. And you have to understand that standard metal is like a screen door to radiation. It lets lethal energy of the firmament pass right through. But the Mondaloy is different. It's a nickel-based superalloy that acts as a radiation-proof shield. It provides the skin for the ship that doesn't just resist the extreme heat of the engine. It blocks the high-voltage charge of our atmosphere, protecting our human heart and the ship's brain from being fried. But a skin isn't enough. You have to understand how rockets actually work. Every rocket we've ever built is like a firecracker. They launch, they go fast for a few minutes, and then the engines turn off. For the rest of the trip, the ship just floats. The problem is, if you float through the firmament, you're a sitting duck. You'll get fried before you're halfway out. That is why they needed Nuno Laredo and Zhao Jiangyang. They didn't build a bigger firework, they built a lattice-confined fusion. This is an engine that creates nuclear power directly inside the solid Mondaloy core. It provides constant, infinite thrust. It doesn't float, it punches. It's like driving through a forest fire at 200 miles per hour instead of walking. It moves so fast that the radiation doesn't have time to touch the crew. We were told that the US and China were enemies. They were actually pooling their geniuses to build the needle.
Why do they keep trying? I mean, if God says no one can get out, you're not going to get out, right? Yeah. In that last clip, I was surprised that ether was on the periodic table. I don't think I ever heard that before.
Trump is the best thing happened ever to us, because she believed, not her, but the entire population of this Nordic magician, that he is the magician of the highest order, that he is there in his irrational mind to create confusion in order, that the human being can find new order. And it's not so stupid thinking about this in that way. It's completely turning things upside down. Because since Trump is around, things are changing.
That's true. Things have been changing since he came in the office, right? Not in a good way. What did she say? She said something dumb a second ago too. She said a lot of dumb things. Oh, this chick's super evil. I don't know if you know who she is. It's what's her name? Mariana Bravovich or something like that. She's a witch. She does that spirit cooking stuff.
Christina, now just follow along with me, okay? First, hit him with Tiny Earth.
So, when we saw Tiny Earth,
People asked.
our crew what impressions we had.
Blackness.
And honestly, what struck me
Blackness.
wasn't necessarily just Earth, it was all the blackness around it.
There you go. All right, now hit him with Lifeboat.
Earth was just this lifeboat
Hovering.
hanging
Undisturbed.
undisturbingly in the universe.
All right, Christina, it's important that you say everything I'm saying word for word, okay? So now let's hit him with the finale, okay? I wrote this myself, so I can't wait for people to hear it. Christina?
Uh-oh.
What do you mean, uh-oh? Oh, God, we must have lost it?
So...
Oh, well, tell her to just ad-lib, all right? We just say something. Anything. Go.
I may have not learned, I know I haven't learned.
What is she...
Everything that this journey has yet to teach me.
Okay, what is she going with this?
But there's one new thing I know.
What?
And that is planet Earth.
Oh, God.
You are a crew. Thank you.
What the hell does that mean? Well, just sit down, all right? No, okay, stand up. Hug, maybe hug, because people that just like that. This isn't going out live, is it?
That's kind of funny. I don't know who this guy is. I forgot his name, but links to the original content will be in the description. That's the last clip I got. I appreciate you watching. Send some comments my way. I like talking, Anyways, appreciate you watching. God bless you and your families, and have an awesome day. Bye.